Okay, I've got something to show you. This is the PRX folding full cage rack. It's designed to be drilled into the wall to be strong, as you can see, extremely stable, but one of the few full cage racks that folds down the pull-up bar, and then you're able to fold in using springs all the way in. Oh, let's do a review. All right, hey guys, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today we're reviewing the PRX folding full cage rack. PRX is known for folding racks, not fold in, but specifically fold down. They've basically taken their engineering team and decided, how can we come up with the ultimate fold in rack? And I think they've probably done it. Okay, this is how it works. I showed you. Basically, there is a spring system bracket on the side. This, I would say, is the most unique part of this and required the most engineering. There are other folding full cage racks. I think the main competitor to this is the Rogue Monster Light folding full cage rack. The difference is this does something that none others do, and it's assisted. This is a heavy rack, okay? So it's a typical power rack, so it's a little bit hard to get in and out, but the way they're able to make it lighter is they're adding springs through this bracket here. So you can see this spring right here with UHMW plastic. It's actually, this bracket is just completely over-engineered. If you've seen our walkthrough at PRX, they showed us some new items. You can check those out at the link in the bio. That is a freaking sick walkthrough. And they showed us some really cool jam arms, which, by the way, will work on this rack. And if you'd like to see those, let us know in the comments. We have a review coming on those out soon. But the engineering team was like, how can we make a folding fold-in rack that is actually lighter to move? And that's what this bracket allows. Okay, so what you do is you simply pull this out. It's helpful if you lift it up a little bit, the springs help it, but it does have UHMW plastic that kind of slides, kind of like a carpet slider on the rubber. But if you just lift up a little bit and like, I wish I could show this. Like if I put my finger in here, it's enough tension to lift it up to bring it in. But if you're just grabbing on the upright, very easy, locks out automatically where you want to be. You then fold the other one, fold up the pull-up bar, put in the pin, and you're ready to go. One of the most annoying parts of folding racks is having to fold them away and fold them out. It's the reason I think a lot of people that get folding racks, they have this great idea like, I'm not gonna use my garage just for a gym, I'm gonna park in it, so I'm gonna get a folding rack, and then what they end up doing is having a folding rack that just stays out. It's really annoying. It's one reason I really like the regular PRX rack, but it's another reason that I really like this one because it's so easy to move away. Okay, just so you know, PRX did send this for an honest review. This is gonna be an honest review. Also, if you'd like to support us and purchase it, check out the link below, like button. They will pay us a small commission, but won't increase what you pay. Okay, now one of the questions you're gonna have is on the assembly process because there is a lot here and it is mostly comes all detached. We're gonna have our senior assembly Sam come and join us.
Your brackets bolt to your stringers. Your brackets bolt to your uprights, cross members to the uprights. Super simple. The only thing that I would say is that you're probably gonna want two people for the stringers, just so you can have one person holding it in place while the other person bolts it on. Once you have those on the wall, you can bolt your brackets on easily, do your uprights yourself, and it's honestly a surprisingly very simple and easy process. One thing that PRX does offer that I have not honestly seen anyone else do other than some really, really high-end companies is essentially a virtual white glove service. And what that looks like is, let's say you get stuck or you're just feeling overwhelmed with putting this together on your own, you can actually jump on a video or FaceTime call with them and they will just, you can set your phone down and they will walk you through everything that you're doing, tell you step by step what needs to happen in order for you to maybe problem solve and work on getting this set up.
Okay, the structure of this rack is really designed as most other racks. What I've seen them do is they now are basically having a standard upright for all of their racks. So they've got their PRX Pro racks, which feature the same uprights as what's now used on their Build Limitless series, and also their PRX Profile Folding Full Cage, which is this one. That upright is a 3x3, a true 3x3, made in USA, powder coated in USA. This steel, we actually saw it made, is all made there in Fargo, North Dakota. They are powder coating these in-house. This is an 11 gauge 3x3 rack with 5/8" holes that they're now using on all of the racks. Their CEO actually told me this is better than a 1" hole. And for that reason, I'm out. Just kidding. But there's benefits to 5/8" holes. Some people absolutely love it. Some people don't love it. The biggest benefit is the west side hole spacing through the bench area. Really, I would love a rack that they just did west side all the way through. I mean, why would it not be beneficial for squatting as it is for bench area? I think it would be just as nice. So I think that would be a cool offering. But one thing I will say on this is this thing has holes throughout. Very similar to the Leico Prestera series, which is a very expensive rack. They're doing holes not just on the front, but with their new iteration, they're now doing holes on all sides. The reason that's beneficial is because of attachments, and they have a lot of attachments forthcoming. One of them is the seal row pad that also turns into a lat pull down pad that also has an attachment forthcoming that we've tested that turns it into a leg extension leg curl. And if you want to use that on your rack, having a rack that is both stable and with a lot of holes that you can use on any side of the upright is nice. Okay, now to the Crossmembers. The depth that they're using on this rack is 31 inches. Why they chose 31 inches versus 30 inches, I don't know. It may be because they don't want people using other companies' Crossmembers. A little bit of an annoyance, but not a huge deal. So you have a 31-inch depth, which is nice. I would say the most popular depth on racks is the 30-inch depth. 24-inch feels a little bit tight, and then you got your like 42-inch or whatever. It's just a little too big. Then we're talking outside to outside width, which is a very important measurement. This is right in between the two most popular widths of 47-inch, which is like a Rep or a Sornex, and a 49-inch, which is like a Rogue Fitness. This is 48 inches outside to outside, which with the 3-inch uprights, that's gonna be a 42-inch depth inside. I prefer a little bit thinner, but I do like this better than the 49-inch width. Then to the stability, like this thing is just mega stable. There's definitely side to side, there's no weight on this, by the way. If you do a typical rack that's just freestanding, something like that, it's gonna move much more. One thing that is curious to me, and they probably did this just so it's just quick, they could have made this even more stable if there was some sort of lock pin in here to lock in the bracket. But when there's actually weight on this and you're using it, all of the shifting that happens is forward to back. And because it's locked into the studs in the wall with their custom made wall stringers, there is just like hardly any forward and back play. Any of the play is side to side, and when there's actually weight on this and you're using it, this is probably gonna be one of the most stable racks on the market because it's not only got the weight of the rack, which is quite heavy, but because it's bolted to the actual wall of your house, it's gonna be incredibly stable. Okay, another benefit of this is a full cage. So you can squat, deadlift, bench press, whatever, within a full cage. You can use typical accessories you'd use on a full cage for safety. So you've got like typical safety spotter bars. You also have straps. I really like the half spotter arms, but one of the nice things is you can leave these on when you fold it. So if you notice when I started, these were on there. I didn't have to take them off. Same thing with the J-cups. It's not like you have to disassemble the whole thing. You just basically take your bar off and then you fold it in. The other thing is this pull-up bar. So I've got a love-hate relationship with this pull-up bar. This pull-up design is better than a lot of others that are out there. For instance, Rogues. It basically has 2 points that you have to like get up and like put it on. This one is always on there. So whenever you want to change it out, you just step up, pull this out, drop it down, and then you can fold it in. And same thing with this. But I still think this process is a little bit annoying. One reason is because you do have to lower it depending on your height to actually be able to change it out. Like if I put it at the very top, I wouldn't be able to get it unless I had to step up on something pretty tall, and that's really annoying because this is gonna be changed out a lot. The other thing, a little bit of a safety issue. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just, somebody pulls that out, you're not watching it, that's a way to hit yourself. Also, like, I don't know, I just would have liked maybe some UHMW or something right here, just so it didn't cling against the rack. Not a major deal. This is one of the better designs for the pull-up bar, but I do think that it could still be done better. And also, why are we still using these detent pins? On a rack this nice, this expensive, made in the USA, give me something magnetic, please, PRX. Now, one of the other benefits with the bracket system is the stopping point. There is a little bit of play still when you try to add the pull-up bar that you have to shimmy it over a little bit, but nothing like the competitor's rack. So something like a Rogue rack, which I've got a folding rack over there, that is nice, but it doesn't have a complete stopping point that allows you to just dial it in, where when you're folding it out, you do have to take some extra time to make sure it's just perfectly in line before you get up and put your pull-up bar on, which is quite annoying. Now to the price. This thing is not cheap. It's made in the USA. It's using very nice hardware. Most of these welds are robotic welds, just really well done. All of the powder coat is, I mean, this is some of the best powder coat in the industry, just the gloss. Also the texture is very nice. I mean, this thing is made to be the best. So because it's the best, it also comes with a high price point. This rack all in for what you see, not including the spotter arms, is 2,500 bucks. That's a lot of money. Now, listen to this. This is, I think, people hear that and like, oh, there's a lot here. I could see the value. This is the problem. The competitors' racks are much cheaper. In fact, Rogue's RML folding full cage is about $1,000 less at around 1,500 bucks. So you have to decide, is the quality of this and this over-engineered bracket system enough for you to get this? If you just want the best, this is better than Rogue's. This engineering is just, and we've seen this with all the PRX stuff when we went out there, their engineering team is kind of going over the top. There's honestly some points where it's like, somebody I think should have told them like, let's slow down, let's not add so many features because this gets really expensive. I love this bracketing system, but you just have to decide, is it worth spending $1,000 more bucks than Rogue's, which is also made in the USA, also true 3x3, also from a company that's gonna support it, because mainly you want a little bit better quality, which is subjective, but also because you want this bracket system. If you want the bracket system, which I can understand, I just don't know if it's worth the 1,000 extra bucks. But I will say this, just overall, this is by far the best designed folding full cage that's out there. There's not a ton of competitors, but when you're looking at this versus Rogue, this one is just incredibly well done. Like, I absolutely love this thing. You just have to decide if you're willing to spend, 2,500 bucks for it, which for me, the amount of racks that you can get out there for 2,500 bucks or thereabouts, you start to get into the realms of being able to buy like a rep with the Athena system or the Airy system for a little bit more, and then you're like, do I really want the folding or do I want a cable system? So it depends on your space. So if I was looking at a folding full cage and I was trying to decide between basically this and the Rogue one, because those are the two biggest options, you're really buying it based upon this bracket system, which, like I said, the bracket system is nice, but it's also very expensive. There's a lot of engineering cost in this too. If it was for me, I don't really mind, I'm doing a workout, I don't really mind having something that I can lift up. It's not that hard with a lighter or with a heavier rack without the spring system to put some like a hitch pin in and lift it up. But I will say this is a very easy system to move in. If this was something that I was gonna use, my kids were gonna use, my wife was gonna use, and they were also gonna fold it in, it would probably be worth the cost for me to have this spring system because they would actually fold it in. If it was just a regular standalone rack, I could just see it sitting out like this all the time. And the purpose for buying a folding rack is so you actually fold it in. So for that, it may be worth it, the cost to you. You just have to decide how you're gonna use it. One thing that PRX is trying to do is build a true ecosystem. So they're having attachments for this. So one thing you'll see with these Crossmembers is they've got these larger cutout holes in the bottom. I'm guessing those are for guide rods or different cable attachments because of the ones they've got forthcoming. So we tested some of their like beta version cable systems, which are pretty cool. They're coming out with some good ideas, but this is basically here, I'm guessing, to future-proof this and make this a true ecosystem to have cable systems too in the future. So in asking them, like, if somebody buys this rack, are you coming out with attachments that are actually gonna work for this for the long term? They said, we're all in. Full send, that's it. They're coming out with lots of attachments that are gonna work too, and many other companies will work on this too. Okay, so this is the PRX folding full cage rack. What do you think of it? Is the value enough here that you'd be willing to spend the cost? Because it is so well done, but man, it's pricey. Let me know in the comments. This has been Coop from Garage and Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.